On October 6th and 7th, 2014, 200 men and women drawn from African Union AU member states, AU organs, regional economic communities, development partners and civil society organizations across Africa met in Kigali, Rwanda to meet and foster a deeper understanding of the trends, challenges and opportunities for women in strengthening democratic governance towards silencing guns in Africa by 2020.
Your Excellencies, at the African Union Commission, we are committed to the African Union aspiration of silencing the guns by 2020 and eager to support women's initiatives towards building a culture of democracy and peace in Africa. We hope that through the discussions at this forum, we'll be able to provide concrete recommendations to implement this strategy for effective engagement of African women on the African governance architecture and its platform.
This forum was organized by the African Governance Architecture AGA as part of its annual dialogue series on democratic governance trends in Africa. Following deliberations on the current trends, challenges, prospects and opportunities for women in democratic governance and peace building, the following key issues emerged. It was acknowledged that women and girls suffer disproportionately from the effects of armed conflicts in Africa due to the huge governance deficit in the continent. Despite efforts to include women in conflict resolution and peace-building initiatives, there are still excluded and rendered victims rather than actors in these processes.
I think that we were reminded that women are often evicted when you set up the large mines and related issues, and the backward and forward linkages that are related to this. And we were reminded, after all, that gainful employment, sustainable livelihoods, and other opportunities are key to what happens after the guns have been silenced.
They acknowledged the need to enhance women's leadership and participation in effective management of diversity, natural resource governance, and socio-economic development of the continent. The participants divided the 5 African governance architecture clusters, which include democracy, governance, humanitarian assistance, constitutionalism and rule of law, human rights and transitional justice. One, the African Union should work with member states to implement the African Shared Values instruments, particularly the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Good Governance, and the Protocol on the Rights of Women in Africa. 2. The African Union should provide support to member states in addressing the governance deficits on the continent, especially on the unconstitutional changes of government. Through the AGA platform, the AUC should scale up advocacy for the ratification, domestication, and implementation of instruments that guarantee the rights of women. 3. The African Union should strengthen structures for member states reporting on implementing the various AU Shared Values instruments. 4. The African Union through the Pan-African Parliament should partner closely with parliaments on complying with various national, regional and continental commitments and obligations. 5. Member states should institutionalize the quota systems in the respective countries to enhance affirmative action on women's participation in elective positions. 6. The African Union organs and institutions with human rights mandates should be strengthened to monitor member states' compliance. 7. The African Union should strengthen accountability mechanisms at the regional level and especially at the African Court on Human and People's Rights to ensure member states implement legal commitments on the rights and welfare of women and girls. 8. The African Union should advocate for the universal ratification and strengthening of the Maputo Protocol by member states. 9. Member states should ensure national disaster policies and response initiatives involve and include women. 10. Member states should strengthen structures for early warning and early action.